कर दिखाने में, मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी, और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Good afternoon, friends. A very warm welcome to our Business Opportunity Over Chai. And this special edition Business Opportunity Over Chai will help you to understand the greatest business opportunities that we franchise India especially brings to you. Business Opportunity Over Chai presented by management team of Franchise India, Mr. Gaurav Maria, Chairman at Franchise India Group, and Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, MD at Franchise India Brands Limited. Every day, 12 o'clock, we launch a new brand to explore new business opportunity. So for today, we have invited a great brand comes from the origin of Singapore. Red SchoolHouse is a multi-award winning preschool of choice for parents and children since 2004. Red SchoolHouse is an established and experienced franchise operator, a legacy brand spanning across 2 decades, building a home away from home for children of hundreds of children. So to know more about this business opportunity, I would like to invite Miss Rimjhim Mukherjee, CEO of Invision Brands. Over to you, Rimjhim.
Wonderful. Thanks, Harshika, for inviting me today for this wonderful opportunity. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all the people who have found their time from their busy schedules on a Friday afternoon and joined us here, whether in the webinar or watching us live across the different social media platforms. Let me give a quick introduction about me. I am Rimjhim Mukherjee. I'm the CEO for Invision Brands. What Invision Brands typically does is we acquire master franchise rights for globally reputed educational institutions who are trying to create a difference in the world of education, specifically centered around early skill development and early learning in children. And in that context, we have this wonderful brand today, all the way from Singapore, which is Red SchoolHouse. And we are very, very proud to have partnered with this phenomenal preschool and childcare brand. I am very proud to have the main stakeholders of the brand in the webinar with me today. Welcome Rachel, who's the owner of Red SchoolHouse. She's been running this venture for across 2 decades almost now. They're going to be celebrating their 20th anniversary very, very soon. And I also have Eileen, who fondly refers to be called as Nana. Nana, welcome to the webinar, and very, very proud and happy and elated to have you here. A quick word from you, from the both of you, as to how you're feeling.
Okay, I'll start first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so hi, I'm Rachel. So I'm proud founder, educator, franchisor of Red SchoolHouse. So this 20 years, how has it been? It's been really fulfilling to transform our philosophy. Our philosophy is settling the heart, defining your child. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
There was a little bit of an echo in the middle, but we can now.
Okay. So yeah, it's been why I say proud founder is because when you run a school, you start with your philosophy, right? And your philosophy is just words and slogan. But through these years, I'm actually proud to say that we've managed to transform our philosophy to be our culture of the organization, and it is now the main product of what we really do. So the past few years have been very fruitful in building on like-minded educators and business leaders who share the same philosophy by connecting the dots between our Special Spice program and franchise system to deliver exceptional outcomes for children, and at the same time rewarding businesses' successes for franchisees.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, Rachel, and welcome to the webinar. A couple of words from you, Nana, maybe. I mean, you've been with Rachel for a really long time and have been pivotal in kind of setting up this entire institution. So, yeah.
Hi, everyone. I am Nana from Red SchoolHouse. I've been with Red SchoolHouse for, this is my 10th year. 10 years. Yes, and I'm very actively involved in the franchising part of the school brand name. And we're also very happy to be working with mrimjhim from Invision brands. Yes, right. And yeah, so we believe that, yes, mrimjhim can bring us far. Yes, mrimjhim, counting on you. Yes, yeah. Yes, for the franchise, because we are not very, very familiar with India itself. So that's why we have awarded the master franchise to Invision brands. Yeah, so you can direct the questions to mrimjhim, and any other questions we are also more than happy to help answer.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Nana. Welcome to the webinar. So let's get started. So what we've categorized this webinar into 3 segments. First, wherein I would be talking about the business opportunity that's here today. Talking about the brand, defining the brand absolutely for our investors who've joined in. In the second stage, we will be talking more from the financial perspective, from the business opportunity perspective that we are presenting today for Red SchoolHouse as a franchise. And the third, we will take up some question and answers that you may have from time to time. So I invite all my investors who've joined here to please put in any kind of question, whether it is brand related, franchise related, or any other question that you might have regarding Red SchoolHouse. Please feel free to put in your questions in the chat box, and we will take it up in the last segment. So let's get started. Super. Just let me quickly share my screen and then we'll get started. Just somebody please confirm if you're able to see this on a full screen. Yeah, okay, brilliant. So we are presenting this franchise opportunity to you, which is Red SchoolHouse. Red SchoolHouse, apart from being a preschool, is also a premium childcare center. So it's a preschool come childcare center for the complete holistic development of the child from a very, very young age. And in the formative years of education, the first 3-4 years are extremely pivotal into deciding how the academic journey of the child is going to be like. And that's exactly where Red SchoolHouse has been excelling for the last 20 years. It's a multi-award winning preschool of choice for parents since 2004. So as I said, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. What sets it apart from any other preschool in India or even abroad is that they follow a very holistic approach towards SPICE education. Just to give you a little bit of background into how SPICE works and how is it different from an Indian educational system. In Indian educational system, we focus primarily on the intellectual aspect of the education, whether it is the vernaculars of ABCD or the number systems of 1, 2, 3, 4, or the Hindi vernacular or the regional vernaculars. If the child learns those, he or she is considered to be literate. Whereas education or the preliminary development of the child is way beyond that. And that is exactly what Red Schoolhouse's plus point or the USP is, that they follow the SPICE approach, where SPICE stands for standing for social, P standing for physical, I standing for intellectual, C standing for creative, and E standing for emotional. So the complete overall, all around holistic development of the child in the early childhood phase of the child, and cultivating character for life. So as I said, this school's principles go way beyond the academic classroom. So it is not just hardcore academic classroom teaching. We are looking at developing and nurturing children who are happy, positive, confident, and with a strong emphasis on character building. And that's absolutely emulsified by their slogan that they go with: settling the heart and defining your child. So it's anchored on a philosophy of love, and love not just from the school, love from a strong parent participation, while instilling in their in the children that spirit of independence, that they can do, they can feel confident about exploring their beliefs, about exploring their interest areas, exploring their passions, and defining their characters in life. The vision with which Red Schoolhouse was started was to bring a home which is filled with love for all. Generally, when a child starts their academic journey, they feel that pressure of academics hitting in very early. So that is where the school stands apart in terms of establishing a vision of creating a home away from home, wherein the child looks forward to coming to the school, spending time with the teachers who are next to mothers for them. Continuing with the value system that we have, we provide a clean, loving, safe, healthy, and homely environment. Strong partnership with the parents. So we ensure that there are two basic pillars for a child when a child starts their academic journey. One is the parents, and the other is the school or the teaching support system. So we ensure that they both are in perfect amalgamation so that the child's growth is supported. So we look at a lot of, and I will be sharing that in the consecutive slides, that we look at a lot of participation from the parents, which is imbibed and infused into the curriculum to ensure that both the pillars, the teachers and the parents, are equally responsible and equally working together towards the child's growth. Inside the classroom, if you look at it, we have an extremely interactive playway method, which is typically the most adopted method across all schools who cater to the preschool children. So we create multiple opportunities, whether it is by smart classes, whether it is by interaction, whether it is by any kind of fun games, play games. So we have engineered those activities, lessons, games, which are specifically designed for kindergarten. And I think Rachel's 2 decades of experience comes in really handy in bringing in bringing this kind of an education via a legacy brand like Red Schoolhouse. Apart from the classroom, there are monthly field trips, phonics, collaboration with national libraries, a lot of extra activities such as leadership camps, cooking, baking, gardening, charity projects, reading bee, enrichment programs, which is your music, sports, dance, dramatics, theatrics. So all of these are inculcated and amalgamated into the curriculum for the simple reason that the child's learning does not get centered in the academic classes itself. The child is able to explore themselves, their passions, their interests, their belief systems in an external environment where other people are also involved. These are some of the pictures of how interactive, bright, sparkly, and very attractive to the children in the classrooms look like, so that the child wishes and desires every morning to get up and go to the school. If I talk about the if I talk about the presence of the brand across the world, since it's centered in Singapore, so obviously they have multiple running centers in Singapore, Upper Thomson, Woodlands, Woodley, Totak. They've also had presence in China, Vietnam, and of course now in India. We have a massive mandate over the course of next 5 years that we are planning to set up multiple Red SchoolHouses across most of the tier 1 cities and some aspirational tier 2 cities in the Indian subcontinent. As I was talking about extracurricular activities and a lot of co-curricular exposure to the children, they have partnered with the most prominent popular after-school programs and in-school collaborations for these extracurricular activities, be it Little Musician, be it MIT. MIT is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is probably the best technical institute across the world. So Singapore University of Technology and Design, Ready Steady Go Kids, Art for Good. So if you look at this, the partnerships are very strategically placed so that every child gets the exposure to explore their talent in a very safe and nurturing environment. These are a list of awards. These are the ones that I could fit into one slide probably, but there are a lot many more that are hanging across the shelves of Red SchoolHouse across Singapore. So whether it be about health standards, hygiene standards, quality of curriculum, employee engagement standards, the SPICE-based approach, innovation, character building, every single aspect has been taken care of with such finesse and perfection that they have managed to attain a lot of awards across their 20 years of working. This is about the brand. I tried to give a brief of what the brand is about. Now, how does this marry, or why did Invision think about bringing this brand to India? So if you look at the Indian panorama of education, there already are about 1.5 million schools, preschools, and K-12 schools included, with 250 million of database already existing. But the beauty of this educational system in India is that it's the third largest school system in the world. 50% attend private schools. However, a very interesting fact to note here is the school system in India is unfortunately growing at a massive pace. However, it's not in a very regulated format of education, in a regulated format of improvement. Even with 7,000 plus preschools in India and over 200 of them already franchising, the market still remains vastly underpenetrated. So that's exactly the opportunity where which I am at Invision branch trying to capture with Red SchoolHouse, bringing in a premium niche preschool come daycare chain from Singapore. Now, some of our investors who are here today and listening to us may also wonder why Singapore, why not any other country across the world. Singapore sets the benchmark of education across the world, and it's rightly called the education capital of the world. Indian parents have this sentimental, aspirational desire to send off their children to be exposed to the Singaporean education. But what happens is, number one, because of the distance, number two, because of the extremely expensive education system that's there, many of these parents are not able to fulfill these desires. And that's why we thought of partnering with Singapore's premium top class preschool, which is Red SchoolHouse, and bring it to India to cover the opportunity which is vastly underpenetrated in the tier 1 and aspirational tier 2 cities in India. So if I talk about now that we've brought it to India, if I talk about what's my go-to-market strategy, how am I going ahead with it? So we are looking at single unit, we are looking at multi-unit, and we are also looking at master franchisees. However, with in the webinar today, we will be discussing only about the single unit and multi-unit opportunities. If anybody is interested in a master for a particular state or an area development right of a particular area, I would request them to please leave their credentials with us in the chat box, in the Q&A box, and I'll be more than happy to take it up and kind of address your queries. So if we look at my go-to market is all tier 1 cities across India and some aspirational tier 2 and capital cities. So if I talk about my hardcore hot points of expansion, I'm looking at Delhi NCR, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, Pune, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, places like maybe somewhere in the east, somewhere like a Bhubaneswar or a Guwahati. So these are my tier 1 aspirational cities, and the tier 2 cities which I'm looking at, probably Lucknow or like a Dehradun or like a Raipur. So I'm open to exploring, or like a Vishakhapatnam. So I'm open to exploring the opportunity in some aspirational tier 2 and tier 1 cities. What the model, let me explain to you about the model. What we are looking at a space of about anywhere between 2,500 to 3,500 square foot area. Minimum is 2,500. We would not like to go beyond below 2,500, because that is the kind of area that is required for a decent setup. And anything over than that, we are more than happy to explore. If I talk about the franchise fee is 10 lakh rupees plus GST, which comes to about 11.8 lakhs. And this is for a time period of 5 years, which is then mutually renewable after 5, again a 5 years and again a 5 years. So extendable up to 15 years of agreement. Now, if I talk about the ROI that we are getting, the franchise partner gets cash positive by the second year at about 18 to 20 months. And the cumulative ROI, if you see, we run 641% of cumulative ROI by the 5th year of its existence. The total children, the maximum capacity of the school, we've kept it not more than 160 children, and we are hitting this number by about year 4 or year 5 in some territories. In year 1, we would start off with about 60 children to achieve an almost break even by the end of 1 year. And in the second year, we start making profits, we turn cash positive. The total project cost, while I have mentioned it is 49 lakh rupees, however, this project cost will vastly differ depending on the property that I have. So let me just quickly elaborate on that a little bit. So depending on the property, let's say I have a bare shell property, where by a bare shell, I mean probably just 4 walls and a roof on top of it. No interiors, no fit outs, no furnishings done internally. So obviously, to build up that property to run a properly running Red SchoolHouse will incur more costs in the setup. But if you take up a property which is already well built up, has the interiors, furnishings and fit outs done, and only needs to rebrand it as per the Red SchoolHouse compliance and guidelines, then this setup cost comes drastically down from, let's say, 25-30 odd lakhs to 15 to 18 odd lakhs. So my setup cost will depend on 2 parameters. 1, how big the property is, and number 2, in what condition the property is. So my franchise partner can either look for a bare shell property depending on their investment, or they can look for a well-built property which is already furnished and only needs branding of the school, or else they could also take up an existing preschool property which is already built up on a typical preschool format, and we can refurbish it and present it as a Red SchoolHouse. So all the 3 formats I am open to exploring in terms of understanding what is the kind of investment that is required. The maximum investment that can go up, considering a bare shell property, will be about 50 odd lakhs, which is inclusive of the franchise fee. So 10 lakhs is the franchise fee. So typically your bare shell property setup will cost about 35 to 40 odd lakhs in the setup of the cost. If I talk about what is the kind of ideal customer profile that I'm looking at, which kind of people am I looking at, I am looking at somebody who's obviously good with children, has some kind of an academic exposure that will be preferred. But that's not a mandatory requirement. It's just a preferred requirement. We would love to work with people who have had some kind of an academic exposure or some kind of an exposure where it is concerned with children of that age. We are extremely keen on enabling women entrepreneurs to take this up. Because women naturally are very instinctively they are very maternal in nature, and they deal well with formats of preschools, and they're able to run a successful business out of it. Also, women who have taken a career break for some reason, for maternity, or they've taken a step back from their corporate life, but would like to resume working by some kind of a business of their own. I think this format, this opportunity is the perfect opportunity for them. Also, one of the major players, one of the major category of investors that we've seen who get interested in an opportunity like this is couple entrepreneurs, where the couple together is looking at starting up something where the wife could be the face of the brand, and the husband could be the managerial or the administrative, could handle those aspects of the brand. So we've seen a lot of couple entrepreneurs also who express an interest in an opportunity like this. All right. The kind of support functions that we at Invision Brands and Red SchoolHouse as a brand provides, we will give you 360-degree support. Now, when we talk about 360-degree support, I talk right from recruitment. So I give the luxury of recruitment onto the franchise partner. If they wish to recruit on their own, they are more than happy. We are more than happy to let them do that. However, it involves a scrutiny process wherein they have to tell us that these are the shortlisted people for running their centers, the academic and the non-academic staff. And these are the kind of profiles that they have selected. They go through a scrutiny process by us at Invision Brands, and of course by the brand Red SchoolHouse themselves. And after confirmation, they are good to go to work with. In case you are not equipped with the recruitment capabilities, then Invision Brands helps you do 100% recruitment of the teaching and the non-teaching staff of the school, and also the training, facilitate the training right from the brand. And as an inaugural offer, we have kept the trainings of the first 6 franchisees completely free of cost, for the simple reason that we would like to ensure that every franchise partner feels extremely safe and feels that kind of support from us and the brand itself. So right from recruitment to training, now the complete sales training as to what to pitch to a brand, what to pitch to a parent, how to get more admissions, how to get more leads, all of that support will be given by us. 100% marketing support in terms of setting up the digital presence, digital footprints, making posts, establishing digital presence, establishing offline presence, how to go about doing the marketing strategy month on month, how to do the budgeting, how to spend, where you have to spend to get more admissions. So all of that support is given by us. Also, the CRM and the accounting support is given by us in terms of what is the kind of CRM that you should get implemented, what are the SOPs. We have detailed SOPs from the brand in terms of brand compliances. So Red SchoolHouse has been a massively successful brand because of this itself, because they have a very, very strong operational structure that is already created. So all that you need to do is set up the school and plug and play model. So be it administrative, be it HR, be it operational, be it teaching, be it academic, non-academic, curriculum, everything has a very strict watertight SOP. And all we need to do is train you on that SOP and you are good to deliver from day one. We also have a lot of, like I said earlier, it's not just about starting a preschool. It's not just about establishing a school. Red SchoolHouse goes way more than that. So let's say you set up a school. There are optional programs that you can run there. There are several enrichment programs that you can run there. There are a lot of after school opportunities also that you can run there. And we'll be more than happy to support you with those after school programs. in case you want to maximize the revenue from the existing real estate, which will be vacant after 2 p.m. after the people drop, after the kids go back to their homes. So if you look at this, it's a very holistic opportunity in itself, wherein you get hold of a global brand, you become a part of the global family of Red SchoolHouse. You get the entire curriculum in a plug-and-play model, the curriculum which is considered the best in the world by Spice Education, a 2-decade-old legacy, proven business model, which minimizes extremely the risk of loss making for you as a business opportunity. So I think keeping all of these factors in mind, Red SchoolHouse is the right brand for you to partner with. Apart from this, if I talk about what is the kind of financials that work between us and you as a franchise partner, is number one, the franchise fee payment, which is a one-time payment at the start for the starting of the association with the signing of the franchise agreement. And second is a month-on-month royalty, which I take at 10% from the gross sales, in which me and Rachel take care of from the brand perspective. We have our own shares from the royalties. So I think these are the two major financial factors that I think I missed out when I was discussing the financials. Is there anything, Rachel or Nana, that you would probably like to add? I tried to cover up everything that you've given us a download about, but if there's anything that you would like to add, which you feel may benefit my investors to hear about.
I guess for me, there's one thing I would like to rave about our program is like what mrimjhim says, character building. Character building is part of our lesson plan. We have several lesson plans that we build holistic approach. So some, especially those who are not in early childhood, they would think like, what's holistic approach? It's not just social, physical. It's a lot of tried and tested years of bringing in high emotional quotient and rich adversity quotient. That's, to me, is the superpower in one of our curriculums. So we have character for life, we have mindfulness for life, we have mastermind for life. Intellectual aspect is also very, very important, but our intellectual aspect part is also better than most of our competitors in Singapore, because we rave about a program called knowledge building. Yeah, and this is a specialized collaborations with our National Institute of Education, with Dr. Teo. She's a senior research scientist, and also with our Ministry of Education. What is this about? This is a knowledge building program for children, and we are the first childcare center to participate in this. Basically to let children, through the lesson plan, see the connection of all the knowledge they collect, and always lead to improvable ideas, and teaching them to master process or ownership. So every time when we teach children IQ aspect, we always bring in together the EQ, the AQ aspect. So that's very holistic. It's not just pumping in. It's teaching children right habits of learning, right habits of delivering, so that we can really be good leaders for tomorrow. So I guess it's again very general, very hard for some of you to understand. Very simple. Get into our program. Let your children use our lesson plans, and then you get to see how they don't just regurgitate knowledge facts. They work on facts into improvable ideas all the time. They master process ownership all the time. They learn to be compassionate leaders all the time. That's what I always like to go on and on about how special my Spice program is all about.
Thank you, Rachel. I just add on a little bit more, right? From the business aspect, right? When you are looking for a franchise, right? So you're interested in education, you want to franchise a school. What is important, right, is does this franchise brand have lesson plans? Because lesson plans are very important in order for your teachers to teach, to follow, right? Some brands may not have, right? To let the teachers plan, but at Red Schoolhouse, we do have lesson plans, right? All your teachers need to do is to follow the lesson plans, which are actually very detailed, step by step.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's a massive differentiating factor between most of the preschools. I was looking at one of the questions that somebody asked, what do you mean by unregulated industry? And I think this is exactly a differentiation for Red Schoolhouse, that in an unregulated industry, everybody is doing what they want to do, right? Without really adhering to the rules and regulations, without adhering to the NEP, National Education Policy, or without adhering to the intent of bringing the best for the child. So I think, Nana, you've raised a very, very wonderful point in terms of lesson plans. So detailed lesson plans are available, as Nana said, from the brand's perspective. And they would be, I'm sure they would be covering that during the training when they give to their to every franchisee's staff. They would be covering that kind as to how to create lesson plans, how to implement them in the classes, what is the intent and what is the outcome that you're expecting from each lesson plan for each child. So thank you, Rachel and Nana, for bringing that about. Wonderful. All right, I think as far as discussion is concerned, we are more or less done with the discussion. Let us quickly jump into a couple of questions. So the first question I've already answered. Total investment required, Ankit, as I said, depending on what is the kind of property, we would be looking at an investment, including the franchise fee, of anywhere between 25 to 45 lakhs. Depending on the property. So depending on the size of the property and depending on what is the condition of the property, the investment will vary. Out of which a fixed component is the franchise fee, which is 10 lakh rupees plus GST, and the other is the setup cost. So the setup cost will primarily vary anywhere between 15 to 20 odd lakhs to, let's say, about 30 odd lakhs. The fee structure, wonderful question, Mr. Sarang. What is the fees that will be charged for nursery, LKG, UKG? So it is a premium brand, and in Singapore, it charges a very decent amount. However, we have requested, and they've both very gracefully accepted also our request to bring it to a slightly more affordable range in India so that we can look at transforming as many lives as we can as children start their academic journey. So we brought it to an affordable range. However, we've still kept it higher than the market price, considering the legacy and the niche price, considering the legacy and the niche differentiation that the brand offers, being a global brand, 20 years and situated right in the heart of the education capital of the world. So answering your question, fees is anywhere between 150 to 200 US dollars, depending on the class. So nursery, LKG, UKG, and playgroup, nursery, LKG, and UKG. So there are 4 classes, and there's a progression of the fees starting from 150 US dollars to 200, which typically translates into 12,000 to about 15,000. For the first year only, we have started an inaugural price that will be in the gradation of anywhere between 9 to 11,000, maybe. That can be discussed from location to location. So in a location like Delhi or in a location like Bangalore, we would definitely not want to deviate from the prices that we've kept as the fees. But for a place like Visakhapatnam or a place like Lucknow, we are open to explore and come to a mutually agreed number. In Chennai, so Dr. Seladurai asks, in Chennai, which location is good for Red School? There are a lot of locations. I'm looking at about setting up anywhere between 12 to 15 odd centers in Chennai. So you could look at Adyar, you could look at Annanagar, Mylapore, Nungambakam, you could look at OMR, a lot of other, I mean, you can get in touch with me offline, and I would be more than happy to kind of share the hotspots that we have in Chennai, earmarked for setting up Red SchoolHouses. And you can let me know which location works comfortable for you, and we can work around. All right, Mr. Mukesh asks, good afternoon, what will be the level of interaction with Singaporean educational team of the students, parents, and teachers who come on board? So primarily, I would want Rachel and Nana's answer also on this. But from my perspective, we could have some kind of maybe online session once in a while as required, wherein my teachers, my students, and the parents could get exposed to Rachel's or Nana's 1 hour, 2 hours of their time, wherein they could interact with the parents over a webinar or a masterclass or a thing, or some kind of a Zoom meeting like that. But primarily, the operational and day-to-day execution of the work shall be handled by Invision brands only. And there's the schools and the students and the parents and teachers, single point of contact shall remain Invision brands. Anything that you wish to add here, Rachel or Nana, maybe?
Of course, the good thing is now we have Zoom, right? Like now, the joy of running this webinar and the whole effect of this webinar still looks very personal. So back to how do we support the teachers, the parents in education learning? We can do a Zoom meeting anytime. We can video our teachers teaching. We can, see how the teachers in India, how they teach. We can video them. It's easy because both countries is the same lesson plan. Every day, what the children is learning, what the child is learning is exactly the same lesson plan as the student in Singapore. So the level of interaction should be quite close with little gaps, I would say, because of technology.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, mrimjhim, depending on what is needed, say like for example, if a training session is needed to educate the teachers on some stuff, then yes, we will arrange a training session with the parents, right? If let's say for example, they want the new parent. Okay, if the sign up rate of the parents are the same, of course we can hold a welcome session, right, to acquaint ourselves with the parents. That is not a problem. Yeah, but if it's training sessions on the curriculum part, then yeah, that we would have to discuss later on. Yes, because if we do Zoom, it is much easier. Yeah, we can actually arrange, not a problem.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for extending that support. Mr. Ankit asked, is there any branches in India as of now? So we have actively promoted this brand across all tier 1 cities, and we are on the verge of closing Kolkata and Hyderabad, but we are open for other cities. How many centers? Okay, that's the same question. What about the locations in Mumbai? Jaydev asks, Mr. Jaydev. So I'm looking at maybe somewhere in Andheri, Pali Hill, BKC, Bandra, Juhu, Altamount, Kavparade, Powai. These are all places. I mean, we have. So what we've done is when we've created the strategy for go to market, what we've done is we have finalized our cities, and then in the cities we have earmarked the hot pockets in which we would like a Red SchoolHouse to be opened up. So if you can get in touch with us, Mr. Jaydev, we are continuously flashing our numbers and our email IDs for you to reach out to us. If you can get in touch with us or leave us your credentials so that we get in touch with you, we can discuss which location in Mumbai works for you. If I plan to open a center in Hyderabad, is there any team who can help? Yes, definitely. There is a team who can help. So we are present. We've partnered with Franchise India as our service and knowledge partner for our expansion, and we are present in across 55 different cities where local teams are working proactively for the kind of for setting meetings with me and with the brand if it is needed to finalize a franchise center. So yes, there is a center, there is a team in Hyderabad who can particularly reach out to you on a personal basis. Nimisha asks a very good question. What about the distance between two centers in the same area? So what we would typically like to have is a radius of about 7 kilometers from the center, or a population of, let's say, 2.5 odd lakhs. And that's the kind of parameter for us to set another center. Daycare is also an option, and in fact, it's a very lucrative option because most of the centers in tier 1 cities will be set up in places where the mother and the father both go out for their work. They're staying in nuclear families. They need to ensure that the child is somewhere safe and secure and feels comfortable to spend the whole day. And what better than the place where the child is going to the preschool itself, right? So they spend the day in the preschool, and then they can spend the after hours in the daycare itself. So yes, daycare is completely an option. We equip you with all the information, all the guidance, all the training that is required to run the daycare center. And as an added incentive, we are not taking any royalty on the daycare sales. So whatever daycare sales you get, that's entirely 100% of that profits goes to you. We only take in from the preschool registrations. Who will help with the marketing part? Mr. Ankit asks. So as far as the marketing spend is concerned on the Google ad campaigns or any other ad campaigns, the spend is concerned, you will be the person who will be making the spend. However, the complete, the strategy part of it, the collateral making part of it, the digital handling, setting up your digital footprint, setting up the ATL, BTL activities, setting up any events that you want to do in your local area, anything, I would be more, that is completely handled by Invision brands. Please feel free to get in touch, and I'll be more than happy to address more concerns on that. What about the day's fee structure? So this is something, Jaydev, we can discuss offline, since that is not one of the primary points of discussion for us. This is an additional support that we are giving it, so you can get in touch with us offline and we can discuss that. If we are not able to achieve our targets, revenue targets, then who will be taking care of all the expenses? So Ankit, very good question. It's a typical FOFO model. Franchise owned, franchise operated, and that's why 90% of the profit and 90% of the sales pie, the revenue pie, goes to the franchise owner. We bring from our end a high-end brand, a global brand with a proven business model, expertise, everything as per global standards, something that has already been running in the market for 20 years and has established itself beautifully. So we bring the credibility of the brand and the SOP, and what we are expecting from the franchise partner is to bring the kind of financial, marketing, strategic and operational fitment to it. So we are looking at somebody who is locally well connected. We are looking at somebody for whom this is the primary work for them. We are not looking at somebody who can just park their money by investing in this kind of a school and then divert their attention into other businesses. So we want somebody for whom this project is a very passionate project. So together, along with you and me, we can establish this project very beautifully on a FOFO based model only. Concretely answering your question, Ankit, the expenses are incurred, all operational expenses are incurred by the franchisee only, since it's a franchise owned, franchise operated model with higher revenue sharing of the franchise partner. Wonderful. I think more or less all the questions have been answered. I will probably take one more minute to see if there are any other questions that anybody is typing in, and we can then close the discussion if there are no more questions. If someone can help me with the location selection in Pune, yes, Ankit ji, we can help you with the location selection. As I said, we have a local team that is available, and we can help you with the complete location selection. So how do we go about with the signing processes? You express interest to us, we will get back to you. We will have a couple of detailed Zoom calls and a meeting if required. And then once you have principally agreed for partnering with us, we sign an LOI on 25% of the total franchise fee payment. Once the LOI is signed, the letter of intent is signed, and you are good to go with us as a business partner, then my team gets activated and finds the right selection. Because we already have pre-selected locations and properties with us, then my team gets activated and supports you with the location finalization. Marketing is, I just answered this question, Nimisha. Let me just rephrase that again. Marketing strategy, collateral making, digital footprint, ATL, BTL activities, the entire organization of it is ours. As far as the actual spend is concerned, when let's say you run an ad on Google, so creating that ad, optimizing that ad, getting leads from that ad, everything will be our responsibility. But as far as putting in a credit card against which the ad spend will be billed, that will be yours. So the actual spend is yours. However, the entire support, entire collaterals, entire digital footprint making, creation, that is mine. At no added cost, at the same cost. Curriculum, books, and so this is something we have as per brand guidelines, Nimisha. The curriculum has to be followed by what the brand provides. So Rachel and Nana shall be providing us the curriculum, which they will also train you on the curriculum. They will also give you academic kits. So that will include your books part of it also. Toys, we have a list of it. Which the kind of specifications and everything, if you want, you can procure from us, or if you want, we can give you the specifications and you can procure from the local vendor as well. We are okay with doing that. Recruiting facility, Nimisha ji, will be by the franchisee primarily. If the franchisee says, I am not able to recruit, I would like the brand to take this forward. So we support you by recruiting 100% of your facility, the training and the non-academic stuff. And we also train them and then we hand them over to you. Wonderful. I hope I was able to answer all your queries. Okay. Any other questions? I think we have all the queries. Wonderful. So before I close the discussion, any parting thoughts, Rachel and Nana?
I'm just so excited to go to India.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we are equally excited, Rachel. I think Gaurav has, every time we have a conversation around Red SchoolHouse, he speaks about the passion that is visible in your eyes every time you talk about children, and the way you talked about his kids and what they are planning and what their aspirations are. So it's just evident how passionate and how attached you are to this cause, and we are very, very proud and honored to have partnered with you, and look forward to creating a wonderful success journey for Red SchoolHouse in India and through Franchise India. Thanks, Franchise India, for provision of that support, for this opportunity today to present our brand to your investors, and look forward to having wonderful conversations. So, okay, thank you so much. And by Harshika's permission, should we close the webinar then? Wonderful. Okay, she agrees. We have no further questions. All right then. Thank you everyone for joining in the webinar. Everybody who was live with us, who has been in the webinar. I hope I was able to, me along with Rachel and Nana, we were able to kind of bring the brand's story to you, connect with you on a personal level. And I look forward to having wonderful conversations on the basis of all the queries that you've had today. Thank you and have a good day. Thanks, Nana. Thanks, Rachel. Thank you.